This is Spalding, leader of the resistance movement against the machines. Daily log. Today we were moving in on a territory that offered significant amount of resources and a defensible location where we could set up a HQ and push farther into the heartland of America to destroy the machines once and for all. Unfortunately, we ran into some hostiles that had other plans. Not machines, but other humans. Raiders. These raiders defeated the first team that was set in. Luckily enough, though, they did not kill them. They simply took most of them prisoner. And luckily enough, we were able to destroy them, and we were able to kill the leader of the raiders, which forced most of them to retreat. To be quite honest, the fight was pretty easy. The hardest part about the fight was the fact that we were outnumbered significantly, and we were running significantly low on ammo. My scouts has told me of some territory to the west of us that these groups of raiders controlled. Is the area that most of the raiders retreated to, which our scouts followed from afar. They seemed pretty weak enough to easily take, and my scouts reported back that and the reason there were factories operational enough and had the ability to produce Humvees and a armored transport vehicle. Two things that, as of right now, is the backbone of our army. Our scouts also reported there's another territory that is controlled by these groups of humans that would offer us the ability to produce 50 cal BMZs, and also the ability to mount artillery onto our white platforms that can be towed by our Humvees. Though I'm not really that interested in that right now. That is not exactly what our main concerns are. The thing that has most of my interests is the territory to the north that is controlled by the machines and is heavily guarded. However, if we were to take it, we would gain the ability to produce our own A1 tanks. Much as I would have loved to take those A1 tanks, I decided against that. For the only reason being is that if we were to try to take it, which I had no doubt that we had the ability to take it, but if we failed, or if we suffered heavy casualties while we took it, we wouldn't be able to replace those vehicles, and especially not the manpower. We needed the ability to produce some type of armored transport vehicle before we thrown everything we had at a heavy fortified location. So I decided to go after the weak territory and slowly build up my army, which turned out to be the right idea. Funny enough, one of the first abandoned vehicles that we found was a A1 tank, which would come in very handy and useful in its conquests. We were able to easily defeat the enemy. It wasn't very difficult. These barbarians don't really know how to use proper tactics. They basically just throw themselves at our lines and we just set up defensive locations, and they just stupidly try to head on push us, and they got just destroyed. These people are so barbarian like that when they decided it was time to run, we decided to leave behind most of their vehicles and run on foot. Which I don't quite understand the reason behind that, but perhaps the reason that at least scared them so much that they wanted to just get out of it as fast as possible, unnoticed as possible, and I guess a vehicle would draw a lot more attention than just a guy running in the tree line. Not only did we get a lot of the vehicles, the prize vehicle that we got from them that they left behind was a fully operational Bradley that had a upgraded main cannon and a tow missile system attached to the side of it. The tow missile system is something that we currently do not have the ability to produce. Though, according to my information, once we push farther into the heartlands, there is a territory that would allow us to produce it, though it's not until we push deep into the enemy lines. Having the Bradley with a tow missile system is going to turn the tide of most of the early battles. And so I will be most definitely careful about keeping that alive. Now, I think I'll turn my eyes to the machines to the north and the the A1's factories. This is Spartan 11775, leader of the resistance movement, signing out.